Senator Whish-Wilson has the call.
Yeah, thanks, Chair. Could I have the Chief of the Air Force, please?
Good afternoon, Senator.
Good afternoon, Air Marshal. You've probably noticed there's been some very bizarre and frankly confusing events over the skies of our two closest allies, the US and Canada, in recent weeks. And I wanted to follow up my earlier line of questioning at previous estimates around unidentified aerial phenomena. What we've seen since then, of course, is a task force established in the US. I suppose you could say a heightened level of surveillance following that. The detection of increased anomalous and unidentified or mysterious phenomena. And then in recent weeks, we've seen both the Canadian Prime Minister and a US President authorise that these objects get shot out of the sky. I just wanted to ask whether you have had a chance to have a look at the Office of the Director of National Intelligence report since it's been released.
I have, Senator.
in
I
recent
am aware
weeks.
of the report. I'm also aware that the report noted that there are unidentified aerial phenomena, but also noted that they're not of extraterrestrial. There's no evidence of them being extraterrestrial. They just noted the fact that they need to continue to look at the safety and security implications of unidentified objects that are in their sovereign airspace.
So on that question, and I, by the way, never said that they're extraterrestrial, and I don't think anyone involved in the task force has said that either. But they can't be. Many of them can't be identified. Out of the 500 new reportings, and many of them were Air Force pilots like yourself, a number of them were identified, for example, as balloons, and a number of them can't be identified at this point in time. So this is an evidence and science-based process to try and get to the bottom of this issue. I was interested, the US Congress had a briefing today from your equivalent over in the US and a number of other very high-ranking military officials, and whether they're saying this is a matter of international significance, that these objects are, let's say they're balloons or they're potentially surveillance aircraft, that this is an international issue. Have you had any briefings from the UAP task force or the Pentagon in relation to this issue in recent months?
No, Senator.
Has any defence attaches had any?
Senator, we were briefed on the recent incidents that were related to the shoot-down of what has been attributed to China's balloon that was over the United States of America. We don't know if we were one of the 40 nations that were referred to in the press briefing, but we have been briefed by the US, and we have sought additional information from them through the Air Attaché in Washington.
So specifically in relation to the Chinese surveillance balloon or spy balloon or whatever you want to call it, what about the three other?
We've sought information in
objects?
relation to those 4 incidents, yes, Senator.
Okay, and why have you sought information in relation to those?
Because we would like to know what the source of the unidentified object is. We would like to know what the identity of it is, and we would like to know how the US has responded to it, so that if we had something similar in our airspace, then we can take advantage of the learning from that.
Could we just, for a second, assume that they're balloons, which is the most likely scenario on the face of the evidence that's available at the moment, or the comments, I won't say evidence, the comments that are being made. I asked CASA this week a number of questions around commercial airline space and safety, and I also asked the Bureau of Meteorology that launch balloons. So is it fair to say that radars can easily detect the signature of a balloon?
Depends on the characteristics of the radar.
Okay, but the Bureau of Meteorology assured me they have very good radar systems for the release of their balloons?
We assess that it is possible using our radars to detect balloons, yes.
Okay, and CASA said that they have a defence attaché, not an attaché, but an Air Force or defence personnel they work with closely in case there's any potential safety issues around commercial flights?
That's correct, Senator.
Is that correct? They also said that it is. I think they didn't say this directly, but they inferred that perhaps our weather balloons have gone into other sovereign territory before. Is this something that has happened in Australia's skies that we've detected before?
I'm not familiar with any circumstances. I can take that question on notice, Senator.
Okay. Air Marshal, would one of the reasons you've requested information be that it seems a bit odd that you would shoot a balloon out of the sky?
That's a decision for the US government.
In terms of the UAP task force, has any, for example, defence attachés in Washington had any briefings in the last 12 months around the establishment of this task force, separate to the issues that we've seen?
No, Senator.
No briefings at all?
No, Senator.
The UK government have recently said that they are going to now also look at their ability to detect, for example, slower moving objects that might be balloons or surveillance balloons or other objects, drones, who knows. Is that something the Australian government might consider based on your responses?
I haven't been directed to do that by the Australian government, Senator, but I have asked our Air Commander to understand what capabilities that we have to detect these sorts of objects in our airspace. Okay.
Considering what I learnt from Bureau of Meteorology and CASA that they have a program for this and they work with you, they were very confident they have very good technology for at least our balloons. They also said that if any commercial interests were to release these into our airspace here, they would need to get a licence to do so. Are you aware of other interests not releasing these illegally or not getting commercial?
I'm not familiar with any circumstances like that, Senator.
Righto, okay. Would the gingerly over-the-horizon radar be able to detect these?
Senator, I don't wish to talk about the operational performance of our radars.
Okay, well, it's a significant matter of public interest around the
Senator,
world.
we are confident.
These strange objects are...
Senator, we are confident that we can detect balloons, but I do not wish to disclose how and with what systems we can detect them.
Okay. Look, I'll put some other questions to you on notice, but I just wanted to see whether you were in contact with the US about this.
Thank you very much, Senator Whish-Wilson. Now,